Honorable Jumbe, I'm at your house regarding to reports that we heard that your house was under siege yesterday. Some misguided individuals visited their residence for an attack. Now, upon arrival, I was greeted by the presence of the police officer. Could you please confirm to us what does this mean?
I had to seek refuge at the police yesterday because I was told that there was a minibus of about 10 people, 2 of them who were recognized as people who claim to be in the Chaguera team, discussing how they can identify my house. And the minibus had no number plates, and or looking upon any of my property so that they can attack. The discussion, as they were having it, they were saying, as we did with Jesse and Jumbe appear to be very difficult to find because maybe I'm not in public places. In most cases, I just drive home from my place. So, having been warned, I had to go to police to report the incident, and I wouldn't want to take things for granted. I needed the protection, and that's why some of my properties were guarded by police, and then even here at home to provide some surveillance so that if the attack would come, then we would have a way of handling it. That's why we found them here. It's actually surveillance on the alert that we had received.
All right. Where is this issue coming from? Can you give us maybe a chronology, the genesis of all this happening to your life?
It's a long story, which people maybe just see me responding, but I respond to blows that are being thrown on me. And because the one who is throwing the blows maybe is perceived to be an innocent person, and myself receiving these blows and trying to defend myself or put my position straight, I happen to be on the wrong in the eyes of the people. That's what they perceive. But there's been a series of events that lead to this. I just suspect from the beginning when I decided to go into politics, being new and from a professional background, going into active politics, not new in the party, because I've been a Malawi Congress party, but now becoming an active politician, that was a new thing that had happened. When we went through the convention during the campaign, I think when you are doing campaign, there's a lot of messages that go through. I had an agenda of wealth creation for all in 2014. That was my agenda. That was well formulated. I was helped by consultants from South Africa who had helped me to put up the wealth creation agenda, because that's what they see in Malawi, and that's what I was seeing when I was briefing them of what I would want to do. And this wealth creation agenda, I think it had put a lot of our other candidates out of gear, because they had no comparable agenda to talk on the convention. People were campaigning, but they had no agenda. Again, when we had the presidential debates, that's the time I had the flying colors in terms of handling issues, and that was the Zodiac debate. And in all those, it means somebody is accumulating anger against you. It's like you are winning. And then when before the elections, you find that opinion poll that was carried by the Daily Times was showing that I had a 40% lead, and the incumbent now had 36%. That totaled 76%. All the other candidates had 13%, 14%, or 24. Yeah, 24, 76, yeah, 24%, all the others together. So two of us were leading with 76%, and myself on the top. So there was an article that Jumbe is tipped to lead the party. And that again sent shocks to those who never perceived me as a person who could lead the party. So they worked the extra mile to ensure that at the elections, I think weeks later, we found myself on the far bottom, and then the incumbent winning by unquestionable marks. But when you look at time before, or the opinion poll, and what has actually happened, it gives you question whether the opinion poll was wrong by those who had undertaken it, or the elections themselves were managed. And there was a lot of questioning that we could have put, but we were all geared for unity of purpose. They never allowed the presidential candidates to have their own monitor. The monitor was to come from a side. Even Honorable Munro argued that time, but it never worked. So all of us had no monitor in the convention. And then a night before, we had information that there were people who were entering the convention with fake IDs. And that information coming, we knew that we would not make it. Because now, in my case, I knew, because there was now the one who is deemed to be a winner, and the stage is managed. The results came out as they were. But we never questioned them because we were geared for unity and getting Malawi Congress Party into government.
You mentioned something like there was no monitors on your side. Or was it deliberately put it on that side?
They refused us to go with our monitors in the convention. All presidential candidates.
Apart from Chakwera?
No, I don't know whether Chakwera had, but all of us, they said no monitor. Myself, my monitor, I was told you can only get a monitor from inside. So we were forced to get a monitor of a person who don't know. I also remember Honorable Munro, his monitor was removed from the convention. That's what happened. I think I know of Munro and myself. So that, to me, was a lot of questions. And when the elections were done, it took hours for the results to be announced. And I guess that was now the manipulation of the figures as it were, so that the voters' roll should balance and be reported in the same way. It was that process. That's what I suspect on that. Now, if there's that suspicion, it means there's a crack beginning from the very beginning of the whole chapter that we are beginning. Because one would want to live to cover up for the entire life. And the cover up is like a story of David, who had gone to take Uri's wife. And later on, David sends...
all right. So, looking at the way the convention was run, the way you're putting it, why could a newcomer, Chakwera, be favored upon maybe those who were already on the platform already, maybe you being discarded out of that? Was that a flame from somebody else? Or?
There was a team called the Renaissance, which had made up the decision on which candidate to pick. Renaissance called me before the convention, and there were some people who I can mention them because they have been like Katani politicians, people like Kachaj, who were maybe part of the Renaissance team, Henry Kachaj. He was busy calling me, telling me to withdraw and leave the stage for Chakwera. So I told him why. He was on that phone. I know this is the candidate we feel. There's a feeling of me being young, me being from the famish, me not having a status. You know, all those things but they would appreciate that I had the facts. That was appreciated, even in the country, appreciated the facts, but the status of me was not fit for a presidential. That's what I would say. So there is a Renaissance that was staging things, and it's the same that is staging things in the MCP up to today. This Renaissance is staging things because what they had said, and I told them that time they wanted to say, what can we do to support you? I said, I don't need support at the moment because everybody has to prove that is worth the salt. After proving that you are worth the salt, then when we have one candidate, let us all put our hands and support. And this is what I did myself. But supporting primary candidates by a grouping of called Renaissance, I felt that was wrong in the first place, and it was pointing to the bias of the whole election.
So now elections, convention elections done. What other way were you treated towards it?
Election is done. I had done the congratulations, and on that day also, which some people tell me is the reason maybe why I'm hated, because the Right Honorable John Tembo had said there is a young man who is very knowledgeable in agriculture. He might do better, and I was the only candidate where he had made like a recommendation. That recommendation again had sent a message of fire, and maybe that's why now I'm being like looked at, rejected. It's like somebody somebody said I'm Tembo's son, and all those.
Are you not related with the Honorable Tembo?
No, we are not related, except for in Dedza, where my father comes from. We come from the same area. Also, and Salima also, Tembo also has roots in Salima, and I happen to have known him for a long time. As a person from my district, he had supported me in one way or another. Even he supporting me when I had the fees problem, he had assisted me, just as a person from home. And we have that. I have respect for him. That's the relationship I have, but nothing to do with a blood relationship with me and Honorable Tembo. Nothing to do with that. Then there we've lost. We've congratulated him, and then talks come, and then the elections were not completed. They had said. Then we were 12 candidates. And there were people saying these 12 candidates are all good people. They need to be part and parcel of the National Executive Committee. They should have responsibilities. And the convention agreed that every region must recommend people, 6 from each region. And from the 6 on each region, the president should take names that come from the region to take them into the neck. That was the first blunder, was that prescription of electing NEC members which were not elected at the convention was not followed. That was the first blunder. I was recommended by the NEC, this region, Salima, went into the NEC, and then I was offered to head the campaign, which I had accepted and kept on. But before I accepted, I had requested Honorable Sawyer again. I hope this position I'm being given, it's a position that would be equated to be a position elected by NEC, and that I would only be dismissed by NEC, because that's what positions elected by convention, NEC positions, can only be dismissed by the convention. So, for fear of people using their power now to demean you as what is happening, I had cautioned Sawyer when he was discussing with me on this position. So I accepted on that understanding. But what happens is the contrary. You see how I have been booted out from campaign director and became the second deputy strategic planning position that the people I should be reporting to are people who have lost even in their primaries in their constituencies. So I felt that was a strategy which I would call a pythoning strategy, wanting you to die slowly. Your reputation, your everything should die with you. And then you come to us now going for primaries. At my primaries, first I had no contender, but all of a sudden I found a contender who was heavily promoted by the party functionaries. When the elections came, unfortunately the team that went to do the elections at primaries at my place, they had the instructions from the campaign director, the elections director, Honorable Gamata, that he doesn't want the money to come, but the woman. That was the instruction that was given, meaning my contender, the woman, is the one that he wants to win. Again, that began to me spelling out a rat. There is something that is happening in this journey that would perpetually put me on a corner where they are trying to push me out. Unfortunately, the results of the primary were overwhelming. People won. I voted for me, and they were now dismayed. They wanted to cancel the elections, but people were saying, if you were cancelling, then what elections were you looking for? So it failed, and I was taken in as a candidate by the majority of people of Salima Central. Now come to time we are campaigning, we are in the election mood, we are going region by region. You find that whilst I'm doing a national campaigning, there were people who were going to my constituency to de-campaign me. And my regional chair was given that information. He related that information to the president. Nothing was done. But these are people from headquarters going to de-campaign me so that I should lose. At that time, I had to leave the national campaign when the things I was told that you can end up losing because it's your own party people who are going to your constituency to de-campaign. So I went, left the national campaign agenda, and then went to campaign, and eventually I won. We were 8 candidates in Salima Central, and it was not an easy task to win when you were being de-campaigned by members of your own party from the headquarters. Come in Parliament, I became chair for agriculture. I was also being de-campaigned, never to be given any responsibility. Remember in October, November, 2014. Again, they started, when I wanted to be a chair, they were contemplating to process me for impeachment. This was coming from my own party. And that impeachment, I had gone through that humiliating process. I won. And now, what next? They were still fighting, finding ways and means. The last resort that they had agreed to get me out, I was now at a party caucus where they had said the way we get out people is to shift them from the committee where they are chairing to another committee. And that's what exactly has happened, to remove me from agriculture to other committees, just because they feel I was gaining prominence in those other committees.
So, looking at these unfolding events towards your political life in MCP, what is giving you strength that you should still remain with the party, looking at the mistreatment given?
It's not a choice to be an MCP. They have been constructing me to look like I have joined the DPP. In many occasions, there was a vehicle at Mtetwangoni in Zimba, which belonged to somebody else, but they had said it's Jumbe's vehicle carrying DPP people, so Jumbe has joined the DPP. There was an issue with me wearing a golf shirt for water board and a cape for water board, where they had said coincidentally it's bluish, and then they used that as a weapon that I've joined DPP. But all these are mudslinging, trying to construct me, to put me away out of the party. I have never seen the machinery that is looking at their member must move out. They want you to move out, and you are not moving out. I think they get more disappointed when you are not moving out. That's what has been happening systematically. Again, this is coming originally from that Renaissance, now turning maybe to Chakwera team wanting to have oppositions and looking at you as maybe you are scrambling for a position. I remember there were those who were also designated for campaign directorship, and that it was given to me. They never liked it. They wanted the same opposition. So the joining of DPP, I've never. But they have constructed me to look like I've joined DPP. And then you see what happens eventually when they went for a meeting in Salima. They take away all those the district chairman who had constructed actually the stage for him to do the rally out of the church, and the district secretary out of the church, and then the former regional chairman out. And then me and Jesse, we still forced ourselves there. But they made them not to talk what they were preparing to talk. Now, when we were not there in Adwangwa, they opened up their mouths and they talked their mind. That Chakwera should get me out. That's now, truth is now beginning to come out of what they would want to construct me to. And following that, he came to sign a petition, which was also staged at my constituency. Because the people who signed, next morning they are phoning me for assistance at the funeral. They said, Bwana, forget that. Forgive us. They were forcing us to do this. So I just said, this is the construction they would want. Again, soon after that, because that was not enough, they are seeing it's not working. It's when they resorted to go actually to do like a whistle stop campaign to castigate me in my constituency. But because the constituency, I think, on the ground, things are so good for me. What I have done, I think no any other MP in the past has ever done what I have been doing. So people were just looking at them. And actually at one place, the one who was advocating this is called Maganga. He was told that he is better off doing this elsewhere because they can deal with him. So that one has failed again. Now the last resort is what we have heard, that now they were saying a day before yesterday they were planning to attack me.
Others are saying maybe all this are coming because you seem to be stubborn to the leadership regarding to you are alleged that you are supporting this district chairman to go for convention. Do you have any hand in this cause?
No, I have no hand. As I've said, days towards the convention, if there was one of the persons who had moved and chatted with the electorates, I am the one. If we had connected, engaged with the electorates, the district chairman, I think I am one of those who was very close because of my background from the Farmers Union and being a farmer. And most of these district chairmen, you do see them, they are farmers. There is a coincidence. In other districts, I think one or two, you find that they are district committee members. They are also members of the farmers where I was dealing with. So there's a relationship between me and the district chairman, which they don't like now from the political side of it. Yeah. Now, the blunders have been made because we had agreed that we do not do elections at a NEC meeting in 2015 in January, but we should expand the posts. That was the agreed NEC resolution. But what came on the contrary was now do elections to remove all the regional chairmen. So all the regional chairmen were removed. Some of the district chairmen were given suspicion in Central Region. Some then petitioned on that decision. This is what they are doing on their own, being dissatisfied with the way the leadership is conducting itself. But now, always weak leadership has a scapegoat. I happen to have that scapegoat. And they say it's because of Jumbe. The only time I had talked at a NEC meeting was when there was a recommendation after a post-mortem that we shouldn't do any convention after 5 years. The incumbent should proceed. So I had said, reminding them, because I'm a professional marketer. We had done a survey which indicated that the support we have is that we had a democratic elections. Now I had the question, if you remove that convention, which is the democratic election or mandate, then what happens? We will lose out our competitive advantage to a campaign. So I was telling this because of my profession, but they took it because he was a candidate, he wants to be. People have just constructed me as the way we were in a campaign, and they never changed me up to this very day. And I'm also the only one who is very active out of all the others. Njovu Elema is another experienced parliamentarian. It's constructed that he shouldn't be given any other responsibility. And that's what it has happened. Magala Ngozo, no another responsibility. And that's what has happened. So it's the new leadership has, I would say, it doesn't want to dissolve and mix with the others.
All right. After all said and done, if convention was held today, but maybe this chairman, this region chairperson demands, were you going to compete against Chakwera, or you're going to give him a leeway away? You put that they said he should always 5 years and then later be considered.
This question is tricky when you are asking, because you don't want to give the impression that you just leave and you start again back tracing to dictatorship, where you say this is a life president. If there is a competition, let them compete. But if you are considering giving him a chance to do second time, but the competition should still be there. He should have the mandate. The constitution of Malawi Congress Party is very clear. He's given a chance twice. So he stands. If he wins, so be it. If he loses, then that is his last chance. So give him the chance. But it is not for me to decide that whether I can stand or not, because politics is a call by the people. If the people can call for me, I would be very available. There is nothing to make me not being available in any case. Yeah.
So, looking at this, has Chakwera come to you directly over these issues, or have you ever talked? When did you talk with
the last time we talked is when I took an initiative wanting to meet him so that we could clarify these issues. These battles, like the mystery, it's a mystery that is happening. You find yourself fighting battles that are not defined. So I said, can we meet two of us and clear where is it that you feel uncomfortable with me? Because as a leader, he's watching things. There are some people who have talked nonsense before me. When I report to him that this gentleman, there was a lady who was saying he doesn't want to see me in the party. And he happens to be a very close relationship of Chakwera. I went to report to him, and nothing. And this time, can we talk and iron out the issues? He calls now the other people. It's like we are having a disciplinary meeting, which was not the essence of my calling on him. So I have I have lived with him, and I know there is a limitation in the scope of how to solve problems.
So do you see all these squabbles in MCP going to end, looking at the way leadership is perceived?
Well, plastically, they can be seen to be ending, but they will still be there ideologically.
What would be the lasting solution? What do you suggest?
Lasting solution is if a convention was allowed, it could provide the lasting solution. And if that convention was managed, not staged, managed, naturally was left to operate as a convention, it could solve most of the squabbles that are.
Finally, do you see Chakwera really a leader in this MCP, or you still doubt?
He is a leader, but he is in the cage. He is not yet open. He is not. I would say he's a leader in a cage.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
A leader in the cage. He has got a protective garment around him, and he's still inside. He has not come out of the shell. He's like a chick that is ready to come out, but the shell is failing to crack so that the chick can come out on the open and start to move on its own.
So, when all this will be continuing, what would be your last take?
My last take is I want to be seen that it is possible for people to construct you what you are not, and fail to do that. And I want to maintain my being a member of my party, regardless of the constructions. And it is possible to make good relations with everybody, regardless of the hatred that they would come to. I would want people to realize that you don't build a party through hatred. That's what I would want, but love for each person, regardless of his tribe. Because some of the sounding that are coming in is, they say Jumbe is not a pure Chewa, nor is he a pure Ngoni, because my father is a Ngoni, my mother is a pure Chewa. So it's like we are promoting tribalism. There are people who say, this party, it cannot go to this, it will have to be on this. Those are sentiments that would be making us come to be known like we are only a Central Region party.
So, Honorable, it has been an exciting, exclusive tour. What's your last word while you are still under surveillance by the police?
I want to be free. I am a person who loves going around chatting with everybody. And this is not for me. If people want to attack me, I think they are just on the wrong. You want to attack an innocent person.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thanks.